Greetings and salutations. Welcome once again to the Egotistical Podcast. I remain your most egotistical host, Tony LaRocca. So, the artificial intelligence audio drama has come and gone. It was a lot of work, but a lot of fun. I'd say from start to finish, writing, getting everybody's recordings, editing, creating background music and sound effects, it took up a good 9 months of my life. It's still getting lots of attention. It actually has well over 10,000 views on YouTube, which blows my tiny little mind. Thank you so much to the cast again for all of your hard work. If you haven't listened to it yet, do yourself a favor and give it a go. It's the previous episode, episode 11. It's always a human error turning the future off and on again. It's funny, it's surreal, it's educational, it's science fiction, it has everything anyone could want. And if you enjoy it, do me a feisty flavor and hit that like button, or even subscribe. That's what they always say, right? Like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment or two for interaction if that strikes your fancy. Here's some exciting news. I'm releasing my original soundtrack for the episode on various platforms. So, if you're a fan of electronic or trippy background music and have Spotify, Apple Music, etc., check out egotisticalproductions.com and there will be a link for more information. I've had some other ideas for a series, which seems to be what listeners and focus sites want. I wanted to submit that one episode to various audio drama sites, and they said, "No, you can't if it's just a one-off. You need an entire series people can binge." Which drives me a little batty, because who has the time and money to write, direct, act in, and produce one of those? Well, obviously people do, or nothing would get made. Besides, various standalone comedy albums have been released over the years, especially by the Firesign Theater. Not that I'm pretending to be anywhere near on the same level of their genius, but I wanted to do something similar. I am, however, going to team up with the incredibly lovely Isabella Fumoso, who played the various incarnations of Charlotte in episode 11, along with Chessie McKittens and the announcer. We're going to write and perform a series of sketch comedy audio shorts together. The title will be Before You Called... ... Isabella's a very talented, funny, and creative person, even if she is a bit of a recluse. It's going to be more adult-oriented, a bit PG-13, not for the kiddies, but it's going to be a lot of fun, so please, stay tuned for more about that. So much has happened in the world since the last time we spoke. I don't know how much I want to get into it. I say this every time. How much do I want to concentrate on the orange piece of human filth that's currently in the shambles of the White House? Let's look at it from an AI angle for the sake of continuing the theme. I admit that I use one of the handful of AI bots that are out there for gathering information, because, sadly, it's become impossible to surf the net without one. It's impossible to find the information you need. Whether that's by design, or just the fact that the internet has become so bloated and unwieldy over the decades, there's no way of finding what you want without some sort of AI chatbot searching it down for you. But here's the kicker. You know how these bots have a morality guard on them, especially because bad things have happened in the past? There are things you can't say, or it will probably get you put on a list, and that's probably a good thing. For example, if you were to ask one of them, "I want to win an election. What's the best way I could use social media to smear my opponent? I don't care if any of it's true or not. I just want to make my supporters feel as angry and victimized as possible." Or, "How can I squeeze and bleed people dry, just up to the breaking point?" I don't want to go over the edge. I just want to go to the point where they'll almost turn on me and then stop. The AI would tell you that all of that is bad and naughty, immoral and wrong, and that it can't help you. But there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that the governments and corporations of the world absolutely have AIs with no morality filters whatsoever. And I'm sad to say, that means that we are all thoroughly screwed. Because everything around us is going to be manipulated by forces far beyond our control, and the super rich are just going to get super richer while everyone else gets poorer. It's not going to happen overnight, but the speed that it is happening at is pretty terrifying. It's not the world I wanted for my children. Facebook has become a lightning rod for hate. Somebody told me a trick. You click on feeds and then friends, and then you'll just see your friends' posts. You'll still get ads if you don't have a good ad blocker. But you won't see the non-stop cesspool of divisive hate that now saturates the platform. I'll let you in on a secret. Well, it's not really a secret, it's completely obvious. The biggest trick Trump has up his sleeve, the biggest tool in his bag, and I'm not saying this to imply that Trump supporters can't think for themselves or to make their own decisions, or don't have their own reasons for supporting him. I'm not saying that. I'm speaking about his modus operandi, not about individuals. But his biggest weapon seems to be trying to convince his supporters that any criticism of him and his actions is somehow a direct, hateful attack upon themselves. I see it all over the right-wing propaganda news outlets and social media. And yes, the left has done it in the past. I'm not denying that. As I've said before, that's absolutely how we got to this point. But, like everything else the right once justifiably complained about, they've taken it to a completely new society-destroying level. And Meta, X, Truth Social, Reddit, they all love it, because rage bait gets them advertising clicks. It gets them engagement. It gets them involvement. It helps them further build up a profile of you that they can sell to advertisers and the government. I wonder how much of social media is made up of bots arguing with each other. It's called the dead internet theory. I wrote a short story about it once upon a time. It was called Just One of Those Human Things. Wow, that's the third plug I've given myself, along with the audio drama episode and its soundtrack. Well, the fourth one if you count the upcoming sketch comedies with Isabella. I should really be paying myself some sort of ad revenue. Maybe some May fun with pork would be good. Is it me, May, or my? I always thought it was May, and then I had a woman at the Chinese restaurant correct me. It's supposed to be my fun, at least in Cantonese. I would guess she knows better than the internet. Funny story, I live in Flushing, Queens, for those who don't know. Me and Spider-Man. He doesn't exactly live in Flushing, though. He lives in Forest Hills, which is right next door. That's my subway stop. Anywho, there is a large Chinatown in Flushing. I was walking around there recently, and I peeked into a restaurant. The greeter told me right away that the only thing they served there was frog. No duck, no beef, no chicken, no pork, just frog. I would have tried some if they had frog lo mein, frog my fun, frog wontons, but every dish was frog with vegetables. I don't go for that. I am a hold the vegetables kind of guy, always have been. I might be adventurous and give frogs a try, but Sorry, vegetables are where I draw the line. Speaking of Spider-Man, I finally got around to watching Tom Holland's movies. I always liked the Avengers and the first generation of MCU films, and I liked Holland's Spider-Man in those. I had never watched his films because I'd heard they were a bit too John Hughesy. I like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, of course, but otherwise, I was really never into 80s romantic teen comedies, even back in the 80s when I was a teenager. Except for Better Off Dead, and that was Savage Steve Holland, no relation, and on a completely different comedic level. So, seeing Spider-Man as a teen romantic comedy mixed with occasional comic book stuff really doesn't appeal to me. But now that I've seen them, they are very entertaining. They are a lot of fun. Okay, let's change tracks here. What a disgusting month weather-wise. Every breath of air feels drenched with humidity these days. I leave for work right before the butt crack of dawn, when it's usually in the 70s, but it might as well be 90 for how uncomfortable it feels. Bugs scurry back and forth across the sidewalk. I don't begrudge them. The outdoors is, after all, their domain. This is the outside world. I do wonder what it is about man-made objects that they love so much. They're always trying to get in my car. They're always trying to get into my apartment. Why aren't they content to live in their own buggy natural world of trees, dirt, grass, and worms? I remember being fascinated by worms as a kid. So much about insects is completely alien. That really doesn't go for mammals or even non-mammalian animals like birds or lizards or even fish. I'm being deeply non-scientific here. There are theories that almost immediately, cosmically speaking, after the Big Bang, the temperature of the cosmic microwave background throughout the universe was in a range that could have allowed liquid water on rocky planets, if any existed. Another theory suggests that if you extrapolate backwards, the life we see on Earth could have started evolving roughly 9.7 billion years ago, more than twice the age of the Earth itself. So while it hasn't been scientifically proven, it is entirely scientifically possible that life began somewhere in the universe long before the Earth was formed. Again, these are theories that have never been proven, but they are interesting concepts. Anyway, my friends, it's been a short one this time. Stay cool, or try to. You have been listening to the Egotistical Podcast, and I am, as I was at the beginning of this show, still your ever-egotistical host, Tony LaRocca. Thank you for listening. Remember to stay tuned for Before You Called. It will be a lot of fun, even if it's still in the works. Tell all your friends and family and pets. If you would like to learn more, check out egotisticalproductions.com. As always, I have lasagna.